So Pearson's doing a lot of work around employability and making sure that students are ready for the real world. What do you think are the most essential skills required to develop in students today to get them ready for employability and innovation?
So we have a lot of conversations with employers around this, and I think the general patterns that have emerged in recent years, I think crucially the key one is attitude, which I know sounds like a very obvious point, but actually being able to demonstrate attitudes and convey that in an interview and through the recruitment process is crucial. And above all else, actually having that ability to be proactive and really sort of go beyond what's expected of you. And I think particularly with younger people, often it's changing your mentality from what can you do for me to what can I do for you, and how can I solve your problems, and actually bringing that awareness out in younger people is a key part of what we do. So I think that's probably the key one. You can then go into some of the more technical skills. I think coding is an obvious advantage for young people too. We do a lot of work with our students now around coding and basic things like HTML, but also more sophisticated JavaScript and other types of coding too. And then I guess there's a whole range of categories that fall within those two. So I mean, things like problem solving, for example. Every graduate position, most positions involve problem solving in some way, and actually think about how you tackle a problem, how you go about doing it, and actually coming up with a range of solutions, not necessarily just one, is quite crucial for employers, and then enabling them to actually identify the best and optimal solution for their business. So a number of factors, but I think they're probably the key ones that I would talk about at the moment.
How does Pearson's College go about delivering this?
Yeah, so I mean, we have three main parties involved in everything that we do. So crucially, the students, so the students' experience. There are academics, of course, but then also industry, and we work with employers to actually design all of our programs and courses. And then we involve them in actually running our programs. So on a weekly basis, we'll have professionals coming in to work with the students, developing professional skills. We have a 3-year framework, so during the programme, alongside academic study, there are a range of competencies and abilities that students actually develop as they go through. So I guess that's the crucial side of how we develop employability. We have a talent development team here, so that's a team of employability experts who work with the students both on a one-to-one and group basis in helping them to develop their professional skills alongside their studies. And it crucially goes back to the truth, which is that there are an awful lot of good graduates out there with 2-1s or firsts or top degrees, and a finite supply of graduate jobs. And actually being able to stand out and actually showing that you really do have the networks, the experiences, the ability to perform in the workplace is crucial. But very few graduates, we find, can actually do that, and that's really what we focus on alongside academic excellence.
You refer to yourself as a professional educator. What are the merits of having a professor in a classroom with industry experience?
Yeah, really good question. I think first of all you need the academic background, so you need to of course introduce theory and talk about its relevance to the workplace. But equally, you need to be able to put down the textbook and say, actually, this is what really happens. And I think the students, as well as having that theoretical background and the knowledge of core principles, they need to have an appreciation of how that doesn't always apply necessarily in the workplace, and that's just as important. So, I mean, with professional, of course, is a very general term, but if you take accounting as an example, I think it's all very well being able to know how to do a consolidation or how to prepare T account ledgers, but actually applying that to the workplace, where practice is often very different, it is crucial. And from an employability point of view, employers are looking for people who are actually ready and have an appreciation of how things are really done alongside, I guess, the textbook competencies.
And what do you think are some of the key skills and experience required for this industry professional to actually teach in a classroom?
I think above all else, it's a passion for actually wanting to be there. So you can have the most technically gifted professional in the world, but if they're not engaged with the class and being able to actually stand up and really share and convey the passion for their subject and their expertise, a lot of it is lost in translation. So above all else, it's that willingness to actually engage and share with young people. And I guess part of that then comes through in the sense that you need to be quite understanding and appreciate that these are people who often come straight from school and therefore do not have that professional background at all, and their approach and their questions may bear reflection through that. So I think they're the key things. I guess also an ability to actually be quite honest with young people and learners, and when they don't perform to a certain level or to a professional standard, in fact, actually having the bravery to say, no, that's not what we're looking for, that's what we would expect of you, because above all else, I think that's what our learners appreciate.
Authenticity.
Absolutely, yeah. We do a lot of stuff now on authentic learning, so alongside the theory, actually replicating the workplace, so alongside actually going out visiting companies or bringing companies in, actually recreating scenarios that reflect the real world. A good example of this is a first year module that all of our students do called Principles of Business. They actually set up and run their own organisation for 6 weeks. So they're mentored through it, but they're actually doing it and they're applying all of their knowledge to create a new venture that actually raises funds for charity. So that works very well.
So what did you like the most about some of the lecturers who have come in from industry to teach, and if there's any particular example that really stands out?
For me, I guess is in terms of our vision and where we're trying to get to, my favourite story is the head of talent development at Lloyd's of London, who came in to run a number of courses with our students around professional behaviours. And what was pleasing about that is he was so impressed with a couple of the students in the room, he offered them internships on the spot, and they're now working at Lloyd's of London in full-time graduate positions. And that for us is really the model we're trying to get to. So employers do come in, they are impressed with our learners, they are contributing to their learning, but they also can see future talent and then bring that into their workplace, and that works well for us, it works well for the learners too.
Yeah, that's the mutual benefit we'd want to generate.
Absolutely, yeah.
What do you love the most about what you do?
What I love, I will never have this opportunity again to create a business school / hopefully in the near term future a university from scratch, and it's such an opportunity. I wouldn't say it's a complete blank piece of paper, because we have obviously benchmarks and academic quality standards that we need to follow, but at the same time we can be quite innovative, and we're not tied down by past practice or existing ways, and it means we can take a very innovative approach, and that for me is why I'm here.
Is there any particular anecdote or story that you like telling in the classroom?
I normally, when I teach, I'm normally teaching accounting and finance, so I normally go back to my stories from PwC. I'm not sure I can repeat any of these on camera, but I guess there's a story, particularly about instances of non-professional behaviour, because that is quite a powerful way of teaching professional expectations at the same time, and in any organisation there are instances of behaviours which are not necessarily professional, and I better not repeat any of them, but they're normally the stories that I would tell in class. I'll tell them off camera.
Can't hold you.
Okay.
2 last questions. One,
sure.
What makes it exciting for Pearsons to work with Connected Teach?
For us, it's the opportunity to meet great teachers, great tutors, people who want to be with our learners, who can actually add a different dimension. We're always looking for good people, and actually finding good people who can marry academic excellence with industry background and practical expertise is actually quite rare. So the great thing about Connected Teachers is having that opportunity to meet and be connected to a greater range of talent.
And you are building the university of the future, but this is a question I ask every educator. What do you think the university of the future looks like, and what is your institution doing to get there?
Yeah, technology is a key area, and we're at a really interesting stage because there's a lot of talk about online classrooms and how they can contribute to the pedagogy of a particular institution. I think for us, we're particularly interested in artificial intelligence and the opportunities that may bring. So the wider Pearson have signed an agreement recently with IBM to use their Watson technology. And that for us, I think, raises quite interesting opportunities just in terms of how we can actually build really engaging, interactive online content. But at the same time, that's not to say we wouldn't keep a focus on face-to-face tuition too. I think in terms of us and where we are in our evolution, it's about developing new, innovative pedagogy that actually reflects the workplace as closely as possible. If I had it my way, and I don't at the moment, I would want all of our students to work for a year before they even started university. And that's not practical at the moment, but in the future, and with simulations and with new technology, who knows?
Absolutely perfect. Thank you.